Citizen King on Magic and 8:35. Mike Barrett is in the studio for a weekly edition of Good Policies. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. So this is what the studio looks like, huh?
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, been on a break.
But, yeah. Well,
We're on a break!
You've been checking in, just doing it remotely.
Yes.
Hey, so Facebook, all over the place. Parents are posting up pictures of their young ones that they're just going, oh my gosh, where did the time go here? They're all headed back to school.
Oh my God.
Has Ethan headed back?
Ethan is back as of today. Waterford School. They had last night they had a thing where you could go and kind of meet the teachers. We do that every year, so we did that last night. And then today, day one, back at the Waterford School. Dropped him off before I came here. He's now officially a fifth grader. Wow.
I remember when okay.
Oh, he's not that. He's a lot taller than that now. That boy is growing like a weed. So let's hope his brain grows this school year. That'd be great.
You're pretty stout yourself, by the way.
Husky is what I think they used to call me. Sorry, that's the department I shopped in when I was a kid.
It's Sears and Roebuck. So we're going to tie that in. We're going to tie our chat in today, hopefully, with back to school and talking about kids growing up here, going on mom and dad's insurance. And we haven't had a conversation, Mike, for Good Policies where we talked about when is a good time to list drivers.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We've been talking about flood a lot, so this is a nice change of pace, so to speak. So good idea. So listing drivers on your policy, when is it appropriate to do so? Well, let's talk about the young driver who's just getting their permit. So they do not have a license. They merely just have their permit. Not a bad idea to let your insurance carrier know, but they're not really going to add that person as a rated driver yet because they're permitted. So most companies, you're not going to see any rate impact whatsoever by listing or adding or referencing, depending on the company, a permitted operator. That could be a 15-year-old or a 22-year-old if they're in your household. If they're permitted, it's the same route. Once they're licensed, game over. They got to be listed. Even if they're on their own policy, many companies still want to see them listed as other insurance. You list them as like a list only so that they understand the household drivers. A lot of companies are really doing that. Progressive has done it for years, and some laws in different states, such as Michigan, it's required by everybody. But the way it works is if you have a licensed operator in your household and you have an auto insurance policy, whether they drive your cars or not, you should list them to some capacity. So just something to think about with your own insurance if you need to. Make sure you're taking advantage of all the credits that are available. Driving credits, like if you are a new permitted operator, you're going to driver's ed, you're going to get the credit for having taken driver's ed. Kids, first day of school for so many today and yesterday, get good grades. Get good grades. That's going to help you too. That's going to help you save your mom and dad save a couple $100 a year. But the other big thing we're seeing, Jeff, is kids going to college, right? This is huge. Kids are going to college. Now, mom and dad may say, hey, look, you can take a car and here you go. Well, how's that going to impact your insurance? That's a very important thing to think about. Because if you are with most companies, regional carriers specifically, like a Vermont Mutual, Union Mutual, Cooperative Insurance, and those types of companies, if you take the vehicle outside of their service territory, there may be some concerns there. So if you're taking a Vermont vehicle to Wisconsin for college or North Carolina for college, company may have an issue with that. So you want to be aware. If they're in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, typically no issues. They start going into New York, Massachusetts, sometimes that can vary it up. But with the kids going to college and taking cars with them, if that's the case, make sure you're letting your insurance carrier know that. But even better, if they're not taking a car and they're over 100 miles away from home, let your insurance carrier know that because that's going to save you a bunch of money.
All right, I'm going to throw an absolute curveball at you. This dawned on me here. You talked about credit for driver's ed, right?
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I see a lot of my friends that have kids that have gone well beyond driver's education, and their kids are actually participating race car drivers.
Uh-huh.
Does that tie in
No.
any way for it? I was just curious.
Cool, but no.
Okay.
I would almost expect the opposite reaction, like, oh my God, you drive race cars when you're not driving on the road? Okay, all right. How fast are you turning left these days? So yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. But there are driving classes that you can take that are available. There's not a bountiful amount around here, but there are different driving schools that if you're looking to get further crediting, or, I think in that case, it's not necessarily really worth the crediting opportunities, but it's more the peace of mind of your child getting some additional driving training, especially for adverse conditions. So.
Yeah, we've heard some of those, like one of our national news sponsors, Tire Rack, does one with skid recovery and things along those lines there.
Yeah.
So basically what we're saying is we got to really carefully think about who we put on and what their status is when it comes to our automotive insurance, right?
Yeah, you really do. And truth be told, let's look at what the real reason why is, right? You get somebody in your household who maybe has a really bad driving record or has a DUI or a suspended license or a criminally suspended license, but you're driving. The company's going to want to kind of know that you have somebody of that with that, those issues, I guess you could say, to put it lightly, because it could impact you because they still have access to your vehicle. So there are going to be some companies who really want to know that.
All right, time is running thin here. One thing that we should also talk about, we can start the conversation again today. We could carry it over next week if you want. Folks have their seasonal vehicles, and we've talked about the pros and cons of lowering your insurance coverage when you put that up.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
Depends on the situation. Have a dialogue. Figure out whether it's worth it for you. If you're only saving $75 to $100 to $150, maybe not. But my thought is that if you have a seasonal vehicle, just make sure you're keeping comprehensive on it year round while it's parked. That's definitely something we highly recommend.
Well, like with the recent flooding we've had, if I remember correctly, that comprehensive would be what covers a vehicle that would be impacted by a flood?
Correct. And an auto policy, among the many perils that comprehensive provides protection for, flood is one of them. So if you have a liability-only vehicle and it's flooded, you're out of luck, unfortunately. So
don't be out of luck.
Don't be out of luck.
You mentioned the conversation. A dialogue is important. Tell them how they can with you.
Sure. You can give us a call, 748-5224. Visit our office on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency. And a very, very quick plug, NEK Can, the Northeast Kingdom's Cancer Action Network. Our scavenger hunt coming up in 2 weeks. We would love to see you sign up. Go to our Facebook page or our website, NEKCAN. That's NEKCAN.org.
A teamwork scavenger hunt.
All raising money for friends and neighbors in our community who are battling cancer.
All right. NEKCAN.org. That's our chat, our good policies for the week, with music coming your way from Ariana Grande.